Hello. Hello. We take time today to look at how we formulate research questions. Okay, so just for us to remind ourselves that writing your research question is one of the first things you focus on when you're beginning your research journey. Because your research question identifies your research or your contribution to research. So it must produce some robust results which are interesting, which can make impact, which can be used for decision making somewhere. A good research question scaffolds your entire research project and it keeps you excited on the journey. Now, research question is your research purpose stated in one simple, comprehensive sentence. That research question should yield hard facts that help solve a problem. They may produce new research, it could add a theory or improve practice. That means that our research question should yield facts and not opinions. So a good research question helps us to guide the research process, construct a logical argument, write a focused literature review, plan our proposal or thesis chapters, and devise efficient ways for such strategies. If a research question is expected to meet those objectives, then what should be its characteristic? We want to look at the 6 properties of a well-defined research question. Of course, these are not all exhaustive, but these are just a guide. 1. A well-defined research question identifies a theoretical construct the research wants to learn more about. Simply put, it needs to be able to describe a phenomena which you're interested in as a researcher. Once that phenomena is described, then you'll be able to lead the literature review in a logical way, because that construct is what will guide you in identifying the search terms for your literature review. A good research question traces the data used to conduct the research. It's not just about picking the data together. It's about ensuring that data answers a question. And a good research question would draw attention to the significance of the research. Why are we doing this research? Why is it important? And a good research question must have the capacity to surprise the researcher as they do their research. It should not be judgmental. It should not be conclusive. We cannot go and say a demotivation among BSN students, for example. That would mean you've already decided that the BSNs are demotivated. So what is there to find out more? But assume we mention that we are looking at motivation levels of BSN level 3 students, for example. You might go and find that they are actually motivated, or you may do the research and find that they are actually demotivated. So we should state the research question in such a way that it has capacity to surprise. Another thing, a good research question should encourage complex answers, not yes or no. Are BSN students of University of Nairobi demotivated? It will either be yes or no. That does not encourage a complex answer. You need to give it an inquisitive preposition. What are the motivation levels of the BSN level 3 students of University of Nairobi, for example? So good research question identifies the theoretical construct, must receive the data which is collected, and has recognizability. It is significant, it must be robust, and it must have capacity to surprise. We'll look at the parts or components of a research question. It must have two main components. One, it must have a stem. Number two, it must have a topic. An example. What is a stem? Topic. We are looking at nurses who wear uniform. So you're asking, what nurses wear white uniforms? Of course, we know in the old days, or many times years ago, people used to wear white uniform. Now we've changed to scrubs. So that's an example. What becomes the stem? The topic becomes the white uniform and the nurses. As a general rule, you should always have one stem, one topic. The question must be action-oriented. It demands some activity. You have to go and investigate. You have to go and find out. And you should avoid yes, no questions. Let's look at a few examples of research questions. We'll first start with a statement and then we'll see how we can put it as part of a research question. Mastectomy has an effect on women. That's a statement, a declaration. How do we put it as a research question? What are the reactions of women to mastectomy? Of course, that demands some action and some answers. Another example, age has an effect on fertility. That is a declaration. But we could put it as a research question and ask, what is the relationship between age and fertility? A third example, what factors influence acceptability of COVID-19 vaccine among women of reproductive age? Quite easy. But let me try and give us a bit of template which you can use to design or to state our own research questions. We can use some of these examples, guiding examples, but remember the 6 principles of a research question. So you'd want to ask your statement like, what is the nature of? How does learning online differ from learning face-to-face? And you have so many other questions. What are the mechanisms by which, what is the relationship between, under what conditions, how do something respond to the other, how do one action affect the other? And so we have all those examples, usually a stem. Right. Let's see some examples, and I know we will go through each one of us giving us an example of their research question, but some of examples to guide us. What effect does WhatsApp use have on attention span of first-year BSN students of the University of Nairobi? That would mean we have to go and see how many students use WhatsApp. What is their concentration span in class? How is it affected? Does it mean those people who are more on WhatsApp have less attention span or vice versa? Another example, how did COVID-19 affect kangaroo mother care at newborn units of KNH? What challenges did community health volunteers face during the peak of COVID-19 pandemic in Kitui County? What is the relationship between leadership style of immediate supervisor and performance of staff nurses working at the medical department of KNH? Good. We'll take a moment and do our own write-up. I want you to take 5 minutes and write at least 1 or 2 research questions based on your research topic. You can pause this video for 5 minutes as you write up the same. And as you write up, ask yourself, my research question, does it have 1 stem and 1 topic? Is it action oriented? Does it avoid yes or no answer? And does it have capacity to surprise? As we conclude, I just want to mention a small difference. I know we've talked about many issues, talked about research question, title, hypothesis, research focus, but I just want to differentiate between the few. One, a research question basically summarizes the significant issue you intend to investigate as a researcher. The title consists of the topic and outcome of a research project or expected outcome. The research problem explains the knowledge gap your research intends to address. And later, as we look at hypotheses, we'll find that an hypothesis is a predicted answer to the research question. That hypothesis can be tested and is based on prior research. And then we keep saying that your research should be focused. And that means a research focus basically specifies the scope or domain or draws boundaries of your research. A few are selected references, and I hope even as we progress, we will write our research questions. Until next time, thank you and enjoy the ride. Research is fun, it's supposed to be an adventure. Have a good day.